movement already. Brent Hughes, and it was good movement. I think that was a delay tactic intentionally done by the Dundee Stars to allow Brent Hughes to come in for this draw, and much better possession as Dundee immediately have it and quickly up the ice and shot in, and Brad Voth finishing his hit there. And that's on Mark Nubis, but it's now skating through the neutral zone. It's Ryan Finnerty on the left side. Finnerty will shoot. He scores. What a bullet as Finnerty just cocks and loads and fires. And Kudner, before he can blink an eye, has to take that puck, and it blows past him and over the corner. Nubis and Voth are going to go. And that was extracurricular after. And Voth is really unloading and pounding down on Nubis. And Nubis doesn't know what hit him in the corner. And Voth now is allowing the referee and linesman just to wrap it up. But it was just an explosion from Ryan Finnerty in the bottom corner, and then quickly Nubis taking exception to the play earlier before the shot from Finnerty as Brad Voth finished his hit, and that play obviously was bubbling.
Well, incredible really. It's been a fairly quiet start, to be honest, overall, but the game's just lit into life there. And Mark Nubis, he will take anyone on in this league. He's fought Guy Lepine at Nottingham this year as well. He'll fight anyone, but perhaps they're not the right choice going straight out to Voth. You have to feel perhaps that was Matt Suderman's fight there, a bigger guy, a legitimate heavyweight to come in for Voth.
And he's more than willing and obliging, maybe probably a more placid character than some of the others, Cartwright and Nevis, who like to get involved and have been involved with, well, physical side and infractions. Bierbrier stretches, and he's able to call a penalty, or able to pull a penalty from McCluskey as McCluskey comes down and really is forced to have to kind of interfere on Bierbrier. Bierbrier sold it pretty well, to be honest, and Tom Darnell said, well, I'll purchase that. And it's Mark Smith who has himself dispossessed by Brent Hughes, and now a penalty is going to be called against the Dundee Stars. And we look on the clock, and we haven't got the 2+2, so I'm assuming both Nibis and Voth have received 5 minutes each. And while we're here working away, next thing you know, we were trying to... Oh, and there's quickly Michel. No doubt he'll be penalized for that one, and he is in, and Ladislav Kudner is quite patient and tolerant, really. Michel is going for the puck, and Kudner is, well, looking to block the angle to prevent him there, but it's just a protection rule, and the call is actually coming as an interference call wide side, and it's Jared Adams who's actually up front here with an opportunity for possession. Phil Hill touches. This is going to be a goal. Finnerty scores right through the wickets, and 2 tickets for Ryan Finnerty to Goldsville tonight. As inside of 10 minutes, he's got himself a brace, and Jared Adams really made something out of nothing. Phil Hill put the sandwich part, and it was Ryan Finnerty who topped it off nicely right through Kudner. But now they're in the offensive zone, and battling is Stuart McRae trying to get it. Wishart will come up with it, and here come the Dundee Stars. The puck is on the stick of Cartwright, but it's Jared Adams who's going to receive probably an interference call, and it is, in fact, it is the call coming. As just you get in the way of the opposition coming, and as soon as they move that puck past you, Jared Adams offering a little too much restraint on Cartwright. Sam Smith is asserting himself right now, and they've got that skill and speed, but one of the things the Devils, I think, do particularly well is they penetrate, and they aren't content just to be on the perimeter and take what other teams are allowing them. They go and take what they need and what they want, and they've been able to do just that there, as the man who is, I would say, probably the best catalyst for the emotional energy of the Cardiff Devils is Tyler Michel. And Brad Voth is now in his 6th year with the Cardiff Devils and is very, well, synonymous now with this franchise here in South Wales. And maybe not having the season that he has had in past years, but still now having a presence after the injury and the suspension and doing a job. There's battles and trouble. Matska scores. And no, he didn't. I thought he had a wide open net, and he thought he buried it in the far corner. And it's a cross-check that is going to come here. There's a penalty that was always arriving to the Dundee Stars, and the Devils were just putting the puck around calmly. And Matska with a wide open goal, I thought buried it under Kudner, but he was denied. And now the Devils will enjoy a 5-on-3 penalty or a power play opportunity. And Weller will nicely lay this off for Stuart McRae. McRae is going to load up, and it's Kenton Smith. There are certainly options all over as they drop below the goal line. Weller will shoot, rebound, Tramble, goal. Brad Voth picks up the secondary leftovers, and the feast looked like it was going to be served by Craig Weller. And picking up Brad Voth in front, the loose change, and he buries it for the Devils' 3rd of the night, a power play goal. and it looked like it was always going to come. They looked pretty calm and comfortable, the Devils, on that 5-on-3. And the Devils look to be well on their way. Well, and a penalty coming here again, and we can't see from our vantage point as to who has possession of the puck at the moment, and it is going to be another Dundee Stars penalty coming as Phil Hill laying it off. Opening up is the chance, backside, Brad Voth, and now quickly it's touched by Wishart. And again here, Darnell is going to call a hooking call, and we await to see who is going to make his way across the box, and it is the Dundee Stars. And just from our position here, it's difficult to tell just exactly which player it is, but Scott Matska will set it up for Weller down to Bierbrier, and Bierbrier trying to get out front to Phil Hill. And my apologies to Stuart McRae. And here's a backside. John Pele scores, and that's a bullet, baby. Right to the top right corner. And I would say, although I shouldn't, this baby is about done here inside this first period. And it is Max Bierbrier lofting it deep into the corner. I'm not even sure how best to describe how I would expect that grip Craig Weller would be in putting on the Dundee Stars player to feel like. Shot from Smith. Here's a scramble and a goal from Matska. It's the up and over fireman's carry. And Ladislav Kudra, well, he knows exactly how that feels. He's experienced 4 and now the 5th one tonight inside a minute and a half in the second period.
Well, it's exactly the start the Devils wanted, and to be honest, probably expected with the form they're in at the moment, and the complete reverse for the Stars.
3-on-1, and it's broken up as they take a chance maybe too quickly, as they had advantage in numbers against the Devils' defense, and they took a shot and quickly did McCluskey, and it was broken up pretty easily. Nice play here. Sam Smith returned to Michelle. Michelle's hooked the last second by Ewan Forsyth, and off to the bench area is Stevie Lyle as we are awaiting a call against the Dundee Stars. And you see Forsyth chatting with Darnell. It's going to be a hooking call. And what would you bet on a 6th goal potentially here from the Devils on this power play? Out now is the Ryan Finnerty line with Brad Voth and Phil Hill. And it's Mark Smith and Mark Richardson on the blue line. And comfortably won by the Dundee Stars. Here comes Zarb. Zarb last time was having a great game until he was gazumped by Tyler Michelle. Slashing call is going to come up against Phil Hill, I think, here, as he had the reverse slash, which is even more nasty than just your basic slash. And for those who don't all understand all about slashing A and slashing B, it's here's Zarb. Zarb gets punched hard by Voth, and now down goes Zarb. And I don't know if he's selling it better than maybe you would have thought, but he's down now, and he may very well have been injured. The fans, well, you'd really like to see them applauding another player being injured. I think they're applauding Brad Voth coming in and protecting. I'm not sure who Zarb got involved with there with the Devils that really brought that all on.
Well, not a happy place really for Zarb, the ice rink here in Cardiff really. Last time he was taken out of the game from a good hit from Tyler Michelle, and now getting a fist to the face from Voth. Voth coming straight in there for the protection of his teammates as well, just showing the spirit in this Devils team. But we have seen those sort of plays penalised quite severely in the league this year, so it'll be interesting to see what comes of this now.
Under a minute remaining inside the second period, and there still is considerable time left on the Brad Voth major or minor penalty, which he's got 2 of them. So it's 5-on-4 still. Cartwright skating well. Past Adams, scores. And that just out of nowhere was a burst of speed from Cartwright, and it looked promising as he just gained that edge on Adams, and it was enough, and Stevie Lyle a little bit surprised by that one, and he just buries it in the far post, and he breaks the shutout possibility for the Devils. You know, good work for Joey Myers to earn his keep as the Cardiff Devils backup netminder. And this is Bierbrier getting to there first, then Macway now, who is moved that puck, and looks as though there's going to be a whistle broken up here in the play. We wait the decision, but
we've seen a couple of occasions over recent weeks where the Devils have been comfortably in the lead, where Stevie Lyle has left the net after the shutout has gone for him. But it's certainly been later in the game than at this moment. So this will be a good test now for Joe Myers in the goal.
But it's Dan Seaman with the puck. And it's a nice little chopping play. Phil Hill will get away from Macway. And this is Ryan Finnerty putting trouble on Hughes. And Hughes has been stripped out front here. And this is going to be a penalty, though. And Finnerty was a little too aggressive, and as soon as Hughes loses the stick, it becomes a little bit too obvious at the crime scene. And Ryan Finnerty's fingerprints all over the weapon. And it's going to be a face-off. Stuart McRae, Craig Weller, and Tyler Michelle will now attempt to kill this Dundee Stars power play. Tyler Michelle is, it is now a period being littered with penalties as Darnell is going to call the Dundee Stars. It looks like it's Cartwright making his way. 2 minutes for hooking, and really he would have liked that opportunity back. And into the corner pocket, but now McWay is ducking and diving and weaving his way, and now it's a penalty again against the Dundee Stars, and I think for interfering on the Cardiff Devils as they went across the line. And McWay, who was making those east-west moves, really almost forced one of his teammates, and it's Nevis this time, to get himself in unnecessary danger, and they've taken a penalty again, the Dundee Stars. To the wide side, Brent Hughes will wrap it around Myers, and as it just carry him off the Zamboni door entrance. And the one thing about that particular area of the ice, and this is wide side, McRae with a chance. Oh, it's a beauty. It's an absolute beauty. He undressed him, he looked him in the eye, and he kissed the beautiful one into the back of the goal, did Stuart McRae. And that was sweet string music from a very gifted offensive player. And that's a 6th spot for the Cardiff Devils tonight. As I mentioned, just kind of looked at Kudra and said quite comfortably, this is going behind you. But it is Stuart McRae. We wait for the assist that is going to be coming in. A high stick on Jared Adams. And Tyler Michelle gets on it as well. The fans clapping in unison in support of their team as they are just waiting for this down. What a rep from Voth. No goal, though. It's offside. And I don't think it's going to count, but it's an absolute corker as he goes off both posts and rings the chimes. And I don't think the refs are going to allow it, but I think they're going to let it go. And they are. They called it offside, but I think it was just more of a battle than really they wanted to take on. I think they're going to allow the goal, and Voth will get credit for his 2nd goal of the night.
We saw what a hard shot Voth got earlier in the night when he dislodged the stick from Kudra's hand, and he ripped that one home there. A hugely confident Brad Voth at the moment, as is this whole Devils team.